Hey everybody, welcome, welcome to Hidden Horror. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate that. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Hidden Horror. How are you guys doing today? So today I'm here to bring an update. There has been another body found in Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas. And we're here to talk about it. It would be good to get some ideas. I think the public more so believes that there is a serial killer. This alleged serial killer has been named the Rainy Street Killer. And people are concerned. People are concerned about going out into the entertainment district and possibly being harmed, drugged, and or killed. In this area, alongside, there's like a waterway alongside this entertainment area, and there have been multiple deceased, mostly men, victims. Well, I don't want to say victims, but people found in and around this waterway. So we have another person found deceased. This time it is a Caucasian slash white female. Allegedly, she was found nude without any clothes on, and the police are not investigating it as a homicide. They're saying, hey, this happens all the time. Um, Pretty much, we're looking into it, but we're not looking into it as a homicide. Pretty much, there should not be any concern in the community. There's no foul play here. Same thing we've heard over and over and over again. So let's get into it. Let's go first to our article. And the article is from BeaumontEnterprise.com. It's titled Another Body Discovered at Lady Bird Lake. Austin Police Investigate. The article is written by Robin Bradshaw and is dated March 28th, 2025. Okay. Another body was found near Ladybird Lake in Austin on Thursday morning, March 27th. Officials initiated a welfare check after someone jogging around the lake called the police after seeing someone face down in the water. So I'm going to pause right here. So you guys remember some videos back in the playlist for Ladybird Lake. I kind of showed you Ladybird Lake. I showed you like how in the area around the lake they can do like boating, different types of water things. They have like bicycling. They have a trail for joggers. It's really a beautiful area, and they really developed the area over decades, right? And it kind of runs alongside the downtown. I guess that's downtown Austin. I've never been to Austin, Texas before, but you can see how the major part of the entertainment area is not too far. It's like kind of running parallel to this lake. And this is where all of the bodies have been found. If you want to say dumped or left there, or people have died there, they're being found deceased. We have the one case where the man alleges that he potentially was like pushed overboard, possibly drugged. He did not pass away after he fell, and I think it was like over 20 feet. Check out the playlist. The best way to do that, because these are some older videos, you don't want to go through the feed on the Hidden Horror X or the Hidden Horror Facebook page. You probably want to just go straight to the playlist for Lady Bird Lake on the YouTube, okay, for Hidden Horror. But I just wanted to bring that up because there's a lot of opportunity there, not just the entertainment area where you have like the restaurants, the bars, music and things like that. Along the lake, they have a lot of opportunities, amenities for outdoor activity, physical activity. Again, you can do jogging, you can ride a bicycle, you can walk alongside. It's a very beautiful area, okay? So let's continue. Excuse me. Officials. So officials initiated the welfare check when someone was jogging along the lake. They found the female in the water. She was later pronounced deceased. So when they found her, she was already deceased. Okay. Homicide detectives were on the scene and crime scene specialists to determine the cause of death, Mendez stated while addressing the public. However, while receiving information midstream during the public address, Mendez noted that death was an isolated incident with no threat to the public and stated that no foul play was suspected. So, I think people should like hold back on that type of commentary. Have you talked to witnesses? Have you obtained any video? They were supposed to put up cameras along this route. Have you viewed the cameras? Have you tried to find out, how this person, this female, came to even be in this area? Where was she? What was she doing, the days before her body was found? What were her last known activities? Activities on her phone. Do they have a history of her going? Where was she coming from? Was she coming from this entertainment area? Or was she just strolling through like I like to do? Go feed the ducks, go feed the birds, go check on the frogs in my community, right? What was she doing in this area? Where 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 was she specifically and how did she get there? Did she drive? Did she get dropped off? Did she walk? Did she walk from the downtown area? Why was she in this area? And allegedly, if she was nude without clothes, where was her clothes? Were her clothes alongside her? Were they nowhere present? Did she have shoes on? It begs to, the family concerns if there are no answers and you're saying, well, there's no threat to the public, this is isolated, and that there's no foul play. Well, most people will say, well, I think you have to do the investigation first on the back end to come out later to say these things. But you're saying this after immediately finding her body when you don't have the answers. Did she have any injuries? Did she have any signs of being attacked? Any defensive wounds? Did it look like she was choked? Um, what is her autopsy saying? What is her toxicology screen saying? Did she have any drugs in her system? Did she have any alcohol in her system? So many questions for you to come out and make this statement is really premature, and um you really don't want to come out and make these type of statements without an investigation first. And this is going to make me pull up the article so you can hear the officer make these statements, because it's really interesting that after each person is found, is pretty much the same thing. Like, hey, there's nothing to see here. This is something that just happened. It's no foul play. We're not going to look into this case any further. Case closed. Natural death. Yeah, let me pull the article because now it's getting more concerning to me. Just the lack of, effort. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. So I'm gonna pull up. There's a video here. So let me see. Okay, let's finish the article and then we will watch the video, okay? I wasn't going to do the video in the article, but yeah, maybe we should just play it now. Let me share my screen. It's just so frustrating, you guys, because clearly, there needs to be a more in-depth investigation into what's happening here. So they have all these like pop-ups going on. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, so they just added like a lot of pop-ups to his video. Okay, so let's play his video. It's 4.5 minutes long.
Good. All right, good morning. I'm Corporal Jose Mendez. That's JoseMendez, and I'm with the Austin Police Department Public Information Office. So before I provide any information about the death investigation that's currently underway here near the 90 block of Congress Avenue, on behalf of the Austin Police Department, our condolences go out to the victim's family, friends, and anybody that may be affected by this tragic and unfortunate situation that took place this morning or late last night.
So he's saying victim, but really it should be decedent, because we don't know if this person's a victim yet. Like, we have to find out the manner and the cause of death. Is this someone very young, middle-aged, elderly? Were they sick? Did they have other illnesses? What is the cause of death? What is the manner of death? It's very early on to make such a definitive statement like, there's nothing here, no foul play. You don't know that until you do an investigation. So, yeah. Maybe just don't comment at all, but let's continue.
I can't begin to imagine how the family moves forward in the next few days, weeks, or even months. But I want to assure the family that we here at APD will do everything we can to figure out what took place here this morning and how this happened. With that said, at approximately...
Let me just pause it here. So when he says what took place this morning, you don't have a time of death. So let the medical examiner do his or her job and try to determine the time of death, which could connect. It matters big time because it can connect a story of what happened leading up to the death. Where was this person? Where did they come from? Did they have a meal? If they had a meal, what was it? Did that meal process in their body? If they didn't have a meal, were they seen on any video camera? What was the last activity on their cell phone? Who was the last person they talked to? Were they on any social media? It all comes into the circumstances prior to the death. Were they with someone else? Were they alone? How did they even come to be in this area? Were they on a date? Did they just leave friends? Did they leave a group? Was it after work? Like, it's so many questions. And it's just, very challenging when you box yourself in with these statements like, there's nothing here going on. Well, where is this woman's clothing? Why is she allegedly found nude in this area? What happened to her clothes? Are her clothes there? Are they in close proximity? Are they folded? Are they set on the side of her? Are they not there? If they are not there, do you have an idea of what she was wearing? Did she take a picture maybe? Was she on social media? Do they have any video leading up to this area to show whether she had clothes on or not? Or was she with someone or not? Like, oh, be careful about the things you say. I would say don't make any statement other than we are investigating this death. We've discovered this body today. It was reported by a passerby, and we're trying to contact the next of kin. When we get more information, we will do a follow-up. Something like that, more general.
8:21 a.m. this morning, just before 8:30, APD officers responded to Lady Bird Lake here in the area of 90 Congress Avenue, and that was in reference to a welfare check. We did have a caller call our 911 center stating that while they were jogging, they believed to observe an individual face down in the water.
Let me pause right here. See, to me, I would be very interested in talking to the 911 caller, because this person says, hey, I'm jogging by, I see a body. I don't stop. I don't render aid. I don't check to see if they're alive. I don't check to see if they need assistance, if they're okay. Um, they're new. So, you know, the human part of you wants to try to see if that person is okay, if they need aid. Maybe you can't render the aid, but at least check. And when you're calling 911 for ambulance, for somebody to get out here, and that this is an emergency. You want to talk to that 911 caller, because if the video shows were they with someone else, you know, sometimes the killer, and I don't know in this instance, but in past, the killer is the one to make the 911 call. You know, let's continue.
Water. At that time, Austin police officers, the Austin Fire Department, Austin Travis County EMS responded to the scene. They quickly located an individual face down in the water and recovered that individual from the water. Unfortunately, at approximately 9:08 this morning, that individual was pronounced deceased.
Okay, pause. So between the call being received at 8:21, emergency services arriving, it's about a 45-minute-ish, 50-minute-ish time difference between finding the body and then saying that they're deceased, calling the time of death. And my thing is, I know a lot of medical facilities, emergency hospitals, etc. They do not like to call the death at the scene, especially if you're going into like a residence. You want to try to take that person out, put them in an ambulance, and then take them to the hospital for the pronouncing of the death. So I don't know if it's like that here in Texas or not. And that could be some more of a quiet procedure. But if you're getting somebody out of the water, they're face down, they're allegedly nude, and I keep saying allegedly, I'm not there, I don't know. So I'm going to say allegedly nude, because he's not really saying that, and he's not even saying the sex of the decedent. But if they're allegedly nude, you can check their pulse, and you know they're deceased. Sometimes you can see in their body that, you know, all of the life is out of them. There's no oxygen going through their body. Their skin has turned, all of that. So I think maybe when they got to the scene, because it was public, it was out in the public, they wanted to get the body removed and then take it to the hospital to pronounce the death. But I believe this person was already deceased at the scene, particularly if they know that this may have happened the day before, the night before, or something like that. The danger with that is when you're removing a body quickly, you may leave behind evidence. Is the crime scene staff there to take the photographs, to look for evidence, to survey to see who's all around watching? Because sometimes the killer will stay at the scene and watch everything play out, watch law enforcement. So, you know, acting as if the person is not deceased, or they're going to render aid or take them to the hospital, this person is already more than likely deceased. The more important thing now is, let's secure the scene. Let's get these photographs. Let's take these pictures. Let's collect the evidence. If there is any, you can put up, barrier so people can't just see this body out, if you want to, and you can cover the body. It is important to remove the body from water, because you don't want to lose any evidence, but this person was more than likely deceased at the scene. Let's continue.
Here on scene. At this time, we have homicide detectives on scene. We have several of our patrol units from our downtown area. We have our crime scene specialists, as well as a few officers from our Department of Public Safety assisting in this investigation. Right now, we're trying to determine what actually took place and why this happened. Right now, we have officers canvassing the area, looking for any potential witnesses that may have seen or heard something. We're also trying to locate any surveillance that may have captured anything. Right now, I'm being told that this is an isolated incident with no threat to the public. Right now, I'm being informed also that this is not being investigated as a homicide investigation.
But it's like, how do you know that? A person doesn't actually have to have any physical wounds to be to have their death be determined to be a homicide. They could be drugged. And sometimes the physical wounds don't show up until later. You can have someone maybe say strangle and you don't see the marks on their neck until a day later or 2 days later. Um, it just depends. So I think you just have to be very careful when he's saying he's being told this. I think it's very dangerous when you put out to the public, hey, there's no threat. And we're not looking at this as a homicide. You don't know. You don't know. Did you see any needle marks? Did you check for that? I mean, you quickly took the body. Did it appear to be a rape? I know with the autopsy, they can try to see if there was a, rape from a rape kit set around a female. It's just a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
Our preliminary findings here today, this morning, are indicating that no foul play is suspected. However, we encourage the public to contact us if you have any information regarding this incident. If you saw anything, heard anything this morning, late last night, or if any information that could help us with this incident, we encourage you to contact our homicide tip line at 512-477-3588, or you can contact APD Crime Stopper.
Did the city of Austin, Texas, did they ever add those additional cameras? They were going to add additional cameras. They had talked about adding people like officers, on this route because they found so many deceased in this Lady Bird Lake area. Did they ever do that? Did they ever get funding? Or, if they don't have the funding, can they reach out to some companies that can do something for them to help aid them in doing some video surveillance of this area? Because this is getting to the point where it does appear to be something going on, possibly, potentially a serial killer. I just don't understand why they have so many deaths in this small area. But let's continue.
Stoppers at 512-472-TIPS. And again, that last number is 512-472-8477. Again, this is a very tragic and unfortunate situation. And right now, I want to thank our local media partners for being here, sharing this information with our community. I also want to thank the men and women of the Austin Police Department. Oftentimes, we forget that these types of tragic events can have a profound impact on them as well as their families. Again, this is very preliminary information. However, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can.
Can you say whether or not it was a man or a woman?
Right now, the findings, what I have right now is it's a white female. I don't have an age approximation, but just a white female at this time.
I know you mentioned.
If I can just pause it for a second, my apologies, but were this person not having any identification on them? If it's a female, typically they have a wallet, a purse. Did they not have any information with them? I know allegedly they're being found nude, so where would their wallet, their purse, the identity, any cards, where's all of that at?
You mentioned that no foul play was suspected, but because of the chatter on social media when it comes to suspected serial killers, can you emphasize that this is right now no foul play? This is a investigation, but you guys are looking into all aspects of what it could be.
Yeah, again, all this information is very preliminary. So what we are able to observe at this immediate moment doesn't appear to be anything related to foul play. However, that could change at any point in time once the medical examiner examines the body and gives us their ultimate determination. But for the time being, there's nothing indicative of foul play at this time.
And you said the person was found face down in the water. Were there any signs of injury, trauma to the body that you can tell us at this point?
Yeah, again, the body was discovered face down. However, we are not seeing anything at this time that's traumatic on the body. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
I would even want to know if they had any jewelry on, like if they were married. Did they have any jewelry on their body? I would just be interested to know more. I apologize, my screen is freezing. So I'm going to continue. I probably should bring up a picture because I am frozen. I'm going to bring up a picture of Ladybird Lake, okay? That way you don't have to just see me frozen. Okay, let's see if we can find a good image that we can just keep up. Okay, so I will put up a picture of Ladybird Lake as I continue the article. Oh, that's not a large picture. Let me see if I can find another one. They're all so little. Okay. Okay, the response is a common thread from Austin officials when a body is found near Ladybird Lake because of the accusations of a serial killer in the area with the coin name Rainy Lake Killer. Multiple bodies have been found around the lake in recent years, creating a public outcry for more answers. Mendez urged the public to come forward if anyone saw something that led to the woman's death on Wednesday night or early Thursday. At the same time, investigators continue to review security cameras in the area. Last summer, a Change.org petition started expressing public outcry for the 20-plus bodies found in recent years. The petition requests that the city improve safety measures with enhanced proper lighting, trail cameras, and barricades along the lake. In addition, it calls on officials to reopen the cases categorized as accidents and investigate them as criminal incidents. The petition also references 3 cases after speaking with families of the deceased, which included Martin Gutierrez, whose body was pulled from Ladybird Lake in November 2018, the assault of Christian Pugh in November 2019, and the death of Christopher Hayes Clark, whose body was discovered in the lake in April of 2023. So we have a short video. This video is provided by Fox 7 Austin. It's titled "Another Body Was Found in Ladybird Lake," Fox 7 Austin. And it's a little bit over 2 minutes long.
Aaron Moulton is one of many witnesses to see first responders pulling a woman out of Ladybird Lake on Thursday.
That was definitely the first thing my brain went to was,
Let me just pause for a second, and I want to show you something that I see just from like my criminal eye. If you look at the position of the body in the area where they're pulling the decedent's body out of the lake, this is a very this is like the edging of the lake as it meets the water. And you see you have bushes here, you have trees. Basically what I'm coming to see is this is coverage. This is not an open area where you can see clearly. If this is something that happened in the evening and allegedly, possibly a killer walked the victim down or dumped the body in, you might have some coverage where nobody could see you, or it would be harder to see you at night once it's dark. I'm just saying, just from the area where the body was discovered. Okay, let's continue.
That was definitely the first thing my brain went to was, I hope it's not another body.
He was out for a morning run when he noticed the caution tape blocking off the hiking trails.
A lot of police, a lot of traffic backed up on Congress because of it.
Moulton says he was there around 8:45, which is about 15 minutes after another jug reported it to police.
Austin police officers, the Austin Fire Department, Austin Travis County EMS responded to the scene. They quickly located an individual face down in the water and recovered that individual from the water.
Officer Mendez confirmed it was a white female floating in the water near the Congress Bridge.
You could see a lot of police divers getting ready, people with fins walking around, then walking a stretcher down.
The preliminary.
And I'm just pausing for a second. If you're looking at this like I am, I just want to rewind it just enough.
Investigate.
My apologies. I just want to rewind it just enough to show you. Oh, okay. So if you look at this area, and this is the area that the police have a lot blocked off, it appears to be leading down. There's a trail, right? You could ride a bike, you could walk, you could hike, you could run, you could jog. But it leads down to this area. So you have to go down. How does one fall into that water? Is the person intoxicated possibly? Even if you trip, that water appeared to be fairly shallow. If I'm seeing law enforcement, and I have to go back to the beginning, my apologies, but I just want to show you something that I'm seeing. If I'm seeing law enforcement and they're standing in the water, this is not even knee length. How do you potentially drown, or not able to get out of this water if you're right on the bank where it appears the body was close to in this area? This is not even knee length height. If this is a full adult woman, female, how do you not get up? To me, you have to start really looking at these things in a different light. If you can stand up in the water, you could probably, even if you fell in the water, you probably could just get up and get out. Unless she fell somewhere else, possibly, potentially, and the stream, if there was a stream, a current, pushed her down here. I believe they said that she was face down. It's possible that she was pushed down here, but it would be hard for me to think that a person, if they're on this edge of the water in this area and they fell in, they couldn't just stand up and walk out of there. But again, they're saying that the body is nude. So where is the decedent's clothing? It'd be hard to take clothing off, especially if it was pants. A dress would still have to lift up over your head and your arms, What about undergarments, shoes, socks? We have to think about it all. And when we see the placement of the body, this is an area where one could walk down, have some coverage with the trees, and push the body in or lay the body in at the edge. And you put the person in water, so water sometimes can conceal evidence. It could wash away evidence, possibly. So I just want to think about it all when I'm looking at this and I'm seeing how everything is. You're not unless you are already deceased and you're placed in the water, you're not going to drown in this amount of water. This water is like not even knee length. So it's close to the bank. You just walk back up. Yeah, I think they have to be very careful about stating declarative things like, no foul play. We're not looking at this as a homicide. Well, how did the decedent get here? Where allegedly is the decedent clothes? What is the toxicology screen bringing back? Is there any drugs? Is there any alcohol? Is there an impairment there where if you fail, you didn't know it? And then if there's no scrapes, no bruises, no injuries, and this person is allegedly face down, it goes more to you being placed there versus tumbling down this way and getting scratches from the trees and cuts, maybe losing a shoe or something and then falling in the water. You'd have injuries, scrapes, maybe scratches on your arms, etc., maybe some bruising on the front of your body from falling and hurting yourself. Yeah, it's not looking good. Let's continue. We were at about 45 seconds. So maybe I'll just play it again so we can see the same
First
thing.
responders pulling a woman out of Lady Bird Lake on Thursday.
That was definitely the first thing my brain went to was, I hope it's not another body.
He was out for a morning run when he noticed the caution tape blocking off the hiking trails.
A lot of police, a lot of traffic backed up on Congress because of it.
Moulton says he was there around 8.
Can I just say something else? And I want to show you this too. This picture right here, or this pause right here. A lot of things happen crime related because of proximity. And this is something, over these years, I've kind of picked up. This is opportunity for someone that's criminally minded to stop, pull over, and get out and push the body down, for example, dump the body. They've even had cases. I believe there was a serial killer in Georgia that would go over bridges, get out, dump the body, flip the body. It was little boys, throw them overboard and just get back in the car and pull off. Now, this was many decades ago, many years ago, but it's kind of reminding me of that kind of feeling in this area because this is a road right here that's coming around. And if it's late at night, you could probably do it in less than a minute. Pull up, get out, grab the body. The female is probably smaller, maybe weighing less than 120 pounds, 150 pounds. Take that body and maybe go into this area a few steps and push the body down. Yeah, it's something to think about because it's literally right off the path where cars are driving by. I wonder if they have any cameras here or if any of these buildings have any cameras covering this area where cars are quickly passing by. Just something to think about.
Notice the caution tape blocking off the hiking trails.
A lot of police, a lot of traffic backed up on Congress because of it.
Moulton says he was there around 8:45, which is about 15 minutes after another jog reported it to police.
Austin police officers, the Austin Fire Department, Austin Travis County EMS responded to the scene. They quickly located an individual face down in the water and recovered that individual.
I'm sorry, my brain is still working and I'm thinking about the decedent. What was going on in her life at this time? What was her mindset? What was she doing? Did she have a job? Did she have any children? What were her commitments? What were her thoughts? What were the things that were happening in her life to bring her to this day, to this point where this happened to her? I think they really need to do some background on the decedent to find out, did she have a boyfriend? Was she dating someone? Was she dating online? There could be a connection to these various people. Now, this is a female, and most of the other people that passed away over the years in this area were male. But there could be a connection, an online connection where they're maybe dating on an app or something. I don't know, but I think they really need to look at the history of the decedent. Maybe she was willingly coming into this area and arriving with someone else, maybe on a date, maybe after the date. We just don't know. But it's just got my brain thinking.
Officer Mendez confirmed it was a white female floating in the water near the Congress Bridge.
You could see a lot of police divers getting ready, people with fins walking around, then walking a stretcher down.
The preliminary investigation found no reason to suspect foul play, and we're told there weren't any trauma wounds on the corpse.
I'm being
just want to think about this for a second. It's still bugging me with the clothes. I'm thinking about the clothes, the shoes, if there was any jewelry, necklace, rings, earrings. You know, sometimes serial killers, I don't want to say it's a trophy, but it's something to remember the victim. They relive the crime. They think about the crime. They fantasize about the crime. It allows them to bring it all back, and they'll take something that belongs to the victim, like their clothing, like jewelry, um, things like that. I wonder, where is the victim's cell phone? Did the victim have an Apple Watch? You know, if the victim is found nude, the victim possibly didn't have a purse or wallet. You know, where is the victim's cell phone? Was the cell phone ditched? Was the cell phone broken? You know, all of that plays into what happened to this young lady when you're investigating.
And informed also that this is not being investigated as a homicide investigation.
But still, there's murmurs of speculation with the alarming amount of bodies surfacing in the lake.
I do think now the narrative has got a little bit of a life of its own, right? Like lots of stories of the Rady Street Ripper and things like that.
However, the Austin Police Department continues to reiterate that there's no reason for them to believe these deaths are connected.
I just think it's maybe a natural consequence of there's just a lot more people living here than there were 10 or 15 years ago.
Police say the woman likely died late Wednesday night or early the next morning.
That was what made it stranger, because the person didn't have any clothes on. And so everyone going, well, how could this have happened?
Mendez sharing his condolences for the person's loved ones.
I can't begin to imagine how the family moves forward in the next few days, weeks, or even months.
He went on to add that there's no threat to the public and it's believed to be an isolated incident.
Okay. I think for the family, in my opinion, you get your own investigator. And I always recommend get your own medical examiner to do the autopsy, because they may not do an autopsy. They're already saying there's no injuries. And if you're a certain age, they won't even autopsy you. And maybe you would need that information, more in particular, to see if there was a rape, and also to find out what was in her system, whether it be drugs, medication, etc. I'm sorry for your loss to the family. I don't know if they've been able to get an ID on her, because this is about 2 months ago. Hopefully they did, maybe through fingerprints or something like that. But I'm wondering. I have a lot of questions on this one. From seeing the scene and the reluctance of the Austin Police Department to do a investigation, to look into these deaths. You can't make them do it, but you can raise hell. You can contact your attorney general. You can go down there. You can push. You can press. You can hire your own investigator and apply pressure. So I don't know. This one is very suspect to me. So let me know what you think. Okay. Thank you for spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate it. I want you to stay safe, stay smart, stay savvy, be well, all my friends. Bye, everybody.